One big reason Worksport stays powered up is its deliberate shift away from private label manufacturing toward a fully proprietary model, resulting in a 2,800 basis point improvement in gross margin to approximately 28%, representing structural control over production and branding, as well as pricing power, leading to what Worksport is framing as the outcome of a redesigned operating model, supported by domestic manufacturing scale at its West Seneca, New York facility. That facility has now reached the point where it can support high-volume production of hard tonneau covers, forming the backbone of both current revenue and future product launches. Top-line growth has followed that operational shift. Worksport delivered approximately 65% year-over-year revenue growth in Q4 and about 91% growth for the full year to roughly $16.2 million, while gross profit expanded by an even more striking 380%. The combination of revenue acceleration and margin expansion is particularly notable because it suggests that scaling is occurring alongside improved efficiency rather than at its expense, serving as evidence of so-called operational leverage beginning to emerge according to Worksport and its supporters. Equally important has been the diversification and expansion of distribution. Worksport increased its dealer network six-fold to more than 550 locations, materially reducing reliance on any single channel and creating a more balanced mix between direct-to-consumer and business-to-business sales. On top of broadening reach, this distribution build-out is foundational to Worksport's stated ambition to scale into a national and eventually institutional supplier. The roadmap calls for expanding to 1,500 dealer locations by the second half of 2026, which, if achieved, would represent another step change in market access. Credibility has also improved through certification and compliance milestones. Achieving ISO 9001 certification in April last year positions Worksport to pursue Tier 1 OEM relationships, a key prerequisite for engaging with major automotive manufacturers. This is complemented by progress on product-specific certifications, particularly for the core portable energy system, where transport, federal compliance, and pending UL and CSA approvals collectively remove barriers to large-scale retail and enterprise distribution. Worksport stresses these certifications are gatekeepers to big-box retail and institutional sales, rather than just mere administrative formalities. Beyond the core automotive accessory business, Worksport's most ambitious progress lies in its clean energy ecosystem, which includes the Solis solar tonneau cover, the core portable energy system, and the Etherlux heat pump platform. These products are designed to work together as a nanogrid, enabling energy generation, storage, and usage across mobile and stationary applications. While revenue contribution from these products is still in early stages, Worksport has emphasized that commercialization has begun, with Solis and core shipping and early sales underway. The ramp, however, is expected to be gradual because of a 90 to 120-day lag between product release and meaningful revenue contribution due to the timing of marketing asset deployment and channel readiness. Even so, near-term visibility is improving, with approximately 1,000 core units and 900 battery packs representing a $2.5 million revenue opportunity, providing an early indication of demand potential as distribution and marketing scale. In contrast, the Etherlux heat pump platform represents a longer duration but potentially transformative opportunity. Early signals of traction come from selection of a mass manufacturing partner, ongoing certification processes, and evaluation by a government entity, though more exact details are scarce for now. The technology's zero-frost capability designed to eliminate efficiency losses in extreme cold has attracted interest from both OEMs and large institutional players. Importantly, Worksport has taken an asset-light approach by outsourcing manufacturing, reducing capital intensity while maintaining scalability. Despite this progress, Etherlux financial contribution is not yet included in formal 2026 guidance, hinting at Worksport's cautious stance on timing. Still, commercial readiness is targeted in 2026, with revenue generation potentially beginning in the second half of the year. Management also indicated it is exploring multiple monetization strategies, including direct manufacturing, licensing, partnerships, or even strategic transactions, reflecting the perceived standalone value of the technology. Then, in order to accelerate entry into U.S. federal procurement channels, Worksport partnered with Potomac International Partners, pointing to a broader shift in its go-to-market strategy, from purely consumer and aftermarket channels toward institutional and government buyers, opening up pathways to large, recurring contracts, particularly for the Solus core ecosystem in applications like disaster response, defense logistics, and fleet electrification. Though for the time being, current financials have yet to reflect this optimistic outlook and potential. One item of note is the presence of a going concern paragraph in Worksport's annual report, highlighting ongoing reliance on external capital, which management addressed directly. During 2025, it raised $6.4 million through a warrant inducement and added $4 million via an ATM facility, primarily to fund capacity expansion and operational scaling. Management framed this capital strategy as tactical and necessary for growth, rather than indicative of structural weakness. The goal is to bridge the company to cash flow break-even, which is targeted once quarterly revenue reaches $9 million to $11 million at a 35% gross margin. This break-even framework provides a clear operational target and aligns with the broader 2026 revenue guidance of $35 to $42 million. That guidance, however, is contingent on several external factors. Chief among them is aluminum pricing, which increased 35% in 2025 and remains a key input cost. Worksport has demonstrated the ability to offset some of this pressure through pricing and efficiency gains, but acknowledged that a more severe increase, on the order of 55% to 70%, could force additional price hikes and potentially dampen consumer demand, particularly for premium products. Tariff-related risks also factor into this dynamic. While Worksport's hardcovers are domestically manufactured, they are still exposed to global commodity pricing influenced by trade policies. This creates a layer of macro sensitivity that management cannot fully control, though the shift to domestic production does provide some insulation compared to import-dependent peers. From a cost structure perspective, management indicated that 2025 included front-loaded marketing investments to build brand awareness. In 2026, marketing spend is expected to stabilize or tighten with a shift toward performance-driven campaigns rather than broad awareness efforts. This suggests that operating expenses may grow more slowly than revenue, supporting the path toward profitability. As for new things to look forward to, there's the upcoming launch of a new tonneau cover. Its preview at the Keystone Big Show has already generated strong early interest and pre-orders, with some buyers describing it as a, quote, game changer. So it was only a matter of time before this product started being viewed as a key driver of 2026 growth, particularly within the professional and commercial segments. Its design emphasizes installer demand, dealer economics, and scalability, aligning with the broader strategy of expanding through distribution partners. Underpinning all of these initiatives is a substantial intellectual property portfolio, including 24 issued utility patents and 50 design patents, which management considers a defensive moat, particularly in solar integrated covers and clean energy applications. This IP position is intended to protect first-mover advantages as Worksport pushes into more competitive and higher-value markets.